Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a video on something I wanted to bring to the channel.
Yeah, this is something that, you know how we all find that our phones are listening to us, and
Yes.
when you start talking about something, you start seeing it posted everywhere or showing up everywhere. Well, this is a product that my son had experienced when he went to Japan and came back just talking about it all the time. And I was like totally against doing a review of this type, but she wasn't.
Nope, I wasn't guilty, but I don't regret it.
So tell us about the product that we're going to be taking a look at today.
We're going to be talking about a bidet that came in for us to review. It's a smart bidet.
It's a smart bidet, and one of the things that is really important in order to stay with the theme of this channel is that anything that we bring to the channel has to have technology. And this thing is feature packed with tech. But this was something that Nilda was really set on reviewing when I saw it, and I brought it up to her. I says, "Hey, this came. We got this email." She said, "Absolutely yes." I said, "Absolutely no." And then we thumb wrestled for it, and
I
she won.
won.
She won.
I
Yeah.
won.
So you want to talk a little bit about this product, and and we'll give the name of the product. It's the Uncle Brown Smart Toilet. This is a bidet, and why did we want to take a look at a smart toilet
Well,
bidet?
besides for our son talking about it nonstop, um, this one is something, my doctor had recommended for me to get something like this. And the fact that this came along, I was like, all right, let's do this. It's like I said, it's a smart toilet. It's a very thoughtful toilet. Everything you can think of, this toilet has it.
Yeah. So just to guys give you a sense of this stuff. So as we go through this video, we're going to go through all the specs. We're also going to tell you the things that you should consider when getting a bidet, because you just can't expect to just install one in your home. We actually were doing a lot of research on this. We were actually going through a short remodel in one of our bathrooms, and we're going to take the time to enhance our existing bathroom, not do a full remodel, but just wire it so that it could support
Yeah.
a bidet. And so the timing of this worked out really well, but we still had to have a plumber come and do a little plumbing work
Yeah,
because of how the plumbing for the water line was, right?
exactly. Yeah, we did.
So this bidet has a lot of features. Do you want to talk about? Why don't you cover at least a couple of the ones that you're comfortable here on the list?
Besides the nightlight.
Yeah.
I don't have to turn on the light in the bathroom. I just like the fact that, it comes with remote control. It's very easy to understand. You don't need to learn how to read. I mean, the pictures are, self-explanatory. I like the fact that, it cleans, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about the foam and just the different things that, heated seats, and who doesn't love a heated seat, especially in the winter. I just love it all the time. So we keep it warm all the time. But yeah, it's got some really great features, especially for a toilet.
Yeah. So I'll give you a couple of the ones that really stand out. It has an auto open, auto close feature. So as soon as you open up the door of the bathroom, you walk in, the toilet opens automatically. The cool thing about it is that it closes too, so you don't have to fight right
No,
about.
no more arguments.
Did you
No,
lower it? Did you
yes,
not lower it?
no, no more arguments.
So
We're
it
good
does that
there.
automatically. The other thing that's really cool about it is that it also auto flushes.
That's
So
somebody forgets sometimes.
so we're not going to talk about who, but we'll say auto flushing is
I
also
was
something
talking
that
about
is
my kids.
really cool about the toilet. So it opens, it closes, it auto flushes. It also is a water saving toilet. It has air infused water bubbles, so it just makes it more effective when it comes to cleaning. And what we found is that the toilet, compared to our old toilet, is cleaner. It remains cleaner than the other toilet.
Yeah.
And there's one cool feature that it's kind of hard to explain. It's going to be a little bit funny, but it's the foam. When we first got the toilet and we started looking at this foaming feature, I thought it was a gimmick and I didn't want to try it, right? But I said, I have to review it, so I have to experience it. And I'll describe what it does. We can comment about like what's the actual result of it. But what happens is, soon as you sit on the toilet sounds like it's going to flush, but it's not flushing. Basically, it basically circulates some water, but when it does the circulation, it's depositing a thick foam. Think about a latte foam, like a lot of foam. But not, you're not gonna drink it. You just get a lot of foam in there, and the foam has several benefits.
I don't want to talk about the
Want to talk about the
benefits.
benefits? I'll talk about the benefits. First of all, there's no plopping. You know what our plop is? No plopping takes place. There's no backsplash that takes place. One or two. The other thing
Or
is
both.
that if you've ever heard of streaking, when you have a very concentrated experience in a toilet, there's no streak marks in the toilet. And if there is, like 1 second foam cycle cleans it out. So your toilet is clean. And I thought that that's pretty cool. It also eliminates odor, right? And it's just clean. It's just a
It
clean
is
experience. I
clean.
am like a complete converted person when it comes to this Health Guard foam solution. It has a self-cleaning nozzle, which I thought was also cool because we thought that there was something wrong with it. But it's before the actual bidet, the actual water thing
That
comes
comes out,
out,
yeah.
it cleans itself before it sprays, which is also important for from a health perspective, right?
Oh yeah, I was like I said, I was told by my gynecologist that I should get one, and here I am. I'm loving it now. I know why she kept telling me to get it, but it's just to keep us women clean,
Yeah.
at all times.
Good for guys too, but it's a commitment. We'll talk about the commitment in a second. ADA compliant, night light, like we talked about, digital display, which you'll see. It has an automatic thermostat, which will make things warm when you want it, cool when you need it, especially depending on the seasonality. We go with warm all the time. It has a remote control that has all the icons, right, that controls
Yeah.
everything. Icons, you don't have to push all the buttons because it does a lot of the things automatic. But then it also then has a manual control that you can actually use to control things. You don't have to use the actual buttons themselves on
Hmm.
the control. It also has a battery backup in the event that you lose power, but the battery backup requires like
Wow.
16 or more
Oh my
batteries in
God.
order to run it.
Crazy amount.
And that's probably a negative for me. I wish that it was rechargeable. It didn't require AA batteries the way it does, but it's there in the event that you lose power and you want to be able to flush a toilet because you do need the power. Everything is power based in order to run it. So it's good to have the battery backup,
That's
but I
yeah.
wish
I
that it was a
agree.
rechargeable battery backup as opposed to one that was battery based. And now let's talk about the overall. Let's talk about the overall experience. This is something we're going to go through the whole video, but is this something that you would recommend?
If you want a spa-like treatment down there,
Yeah.
I would recommend it. I actually like it a lot. Like I said, it's got the right temperature, the right amount of water that it uses, the pressure, everything is just like spot on. And it's
And
like
that's important. That's something we failed to mention. The water is warm, and it also has an air dryer, so it
you need time
it
there.
washes you, and then it also dries you. Right? Not like a hand dryer that's really powerful, but enough where you feel it, and you'll see it in the video. There's no live action, so you'll see it functioning, but not with humans. But anyways, you'll see it does have both, and they're both warm. And I do think that it's cool that
Yeah.
you have that warm feature. I probably wouldn't go back to a normal toilet now, having experienced something like this. But what I'll say is overall, you have to make sure that you have electric. You have to make sure that you have the right plumbing, and if you have those two things, then you're pretty much set. I would recommend this. I think that uh, my son, when he came in to see it, he said, "So you got one?" I said,
He
"Yes."
actually tested
And
it out.
he wanted to test it. So we gave him his alone time. And that's what I was going to
One
mention,
on
that
one.
this requires a commitment of time, because if you go for the full service, like going through the car wash, you can go the quick wash, or you can do the wax, the dry, the tires.
Yeah.
This thing takes time. So if you're going to go for the full thing, you're 6 minutes, 7 minutes or more,
It's
right?
true.
It's a lot. So what we're going to do next is we're going to jump into the actual details of the video, and you'll be able to see the product in action. And again, we recommend it, right?
I actually want more, so are the two bad.
We have 3 bathrooms, and we're going to be looking at doing 3 more, I guess. 2 more.
Two more.
We'll see. So let's get right to it.
Now, this smart toilet is packed with technology, and I have to say that at first I was kind of questioning a review of this type, but after hearing from my son and his trip to Japan and how much he really loved these, we were really excited after Nilda pleaded to go ahead and review this. And I'll tell you, it is packed with tech, as I mentioned. I'm going to get a little bit closer to it for a second, and you'll notice it opens automatically. It has a night light, as we discussed in the specs, and it has a lot of tech that really make both healthy choices and maintenance of, let's face it, something that all of us have to deal with on a daily basis, and sometimes multiple times a day when it comes to maintaining your toilets. So a couple things I just want to highlight. First of all, you'll notice here at the very top, there's a little red mark that says that there's a sensor there. And this is something that I can remove, but I just left it there for this review so you guys could see it. And the bottom also, you'll notice that there is an area here that basically has like a foot symbol or symbol. And that indicates that if you tap it with your foot, that the actual toilet seat is going to come up. Now, by simply tapping here, the actual toilet seat is going to come up, which is really nice. You'll also notice that in the inside, There is a night light, and that night light is great for nighttime, and we end up leaving it on all the time. One of the things I wish the actual toilet had was the ability for it to be scheduled, or for it to have a light sensor that would determine if I have it enabled, when it should be on and when it should be off. That is not available with the system at this time. Now, one of the things that you'll also notice at the very top of the toilet, you do have a display that indicates the current temperature of the toilet seat, and you also have some status symbols. If it's going to auto flush, just the different automations that you can turn on that would be part of your experience when using the toilet or the bidet in this case. The other thing I just wanted to point out is how close you can see that the toilet is against the wall. And that is something that you have to be aware of. We actually had to have a plumber come in and make some changes to our plumbing. And I'm going to show you what those were. And I'll show you what a standard kind of water line looks like and what this water line looks like. And what you'll find, and we discovered this as we took out the toilet, is that, we have to do some paint touch up because we didn't realize that that mark existed there. So that was, obviously behind the toilet, you don't see it. So we'll be touching that up. But I just wanted to show you like some of the extra work that you may have to go through when you're getting the actual toilet all set up. Now, the other thing is that this is a removable piece, and I'm going to show you how this comes off. You do have a special foam, and I'm going to show you how that foam works. And at first, I thought the foam wasn't such a big deal, but I actually have come to appreciate the foaming process, that basically when you sit on the toilet, there is a foam that gets shot into the toilet that's going to do a couple things for you. One, it's going to prevent what I will call, as a technical term, streaking. If you've ever done number two and you leave streaks, technical term, you know what I'm talking about. This deals with that. It also deals with backsplash. It also deals with odor. There's some really cool benefits from using it, and I've become a fan of it. And I've been refilling this thing as it's used up. So I'll show you how that works in a second. Now, on the back here, you'll notice that I do have a power outlet. You're going to need one of those. And we actually had one installed prior to getting this toilet. You'll notice that you have your knob there for controls. That's going to be a manual control. You can actually use the remote control, which you'll see in a second, to actually control things. This has just probably about 3 different functions that it can operate, but it's there and it's available. Now, the toilet seat is also a really clean seat. It is warm to the touch, so when you touch it, remember that 97 degrees is there present. And especially as we start getting into the winter months here in Chicago, this is going to be great because the floor is cold, and having a warm seat, and you can adjust that, is cool. The other thing is you can actually have it automatically adjust based on the ambient temperature. So it could get cooler, it can get warmer, all depends on how you have it set up. We have it set at 97. We like it warm, and this is what Nilda prefers. This is for Nilda. Now, there's a couple things that are going to be going on here. This is where the actual cleaning technology comes out of. So there's going to be a little something that comes out of there, and it throws water. It's adjustable. You can move it forward, you can move it back. It can be used to clean the back part of you or the front part of you. And that side over there opens up, and it actually has a air dryer, right? The water is temperature controlled. Everything is temperature controlled, so you're not going to be jumping up because things are cold. You'll see how the bowl will basically throw out that foam liquid and then foam this up when you're going to sit on the toilet. But it's maintained itself really well. Really like how clean it's maintained itself. And all I did is I touched the side to actually invoke the thing to close. But we're going to go ahead and open this up. So let me go ahead and anytime it closes, it auto flushes. So that was the flushing motion took place. All right. Let me go ahead and open this up. We can see this for a second. We're going to let it fill up. It's not terribly loud either. I just wanted to highlight that. I thought that the toilet itself is relatively quiet, but what we found is, especially because it does so much, as soon as you sit there, it makes noise, and then once you're done, it makes noise, that at night, if Nola's sleeping and I get up to use the bathroom, closing the door is something that we've been doing because the process, the steps that it does automatically could wake someone up. It's not just a one-time flush. All right, so this is the foam shield that we were talking about. So you notice that basically there's some, I don't want to call it detergent, but there's a foaming agent that basically you put in on the side. And what that does is it's condensed or it's concentrated. It creates this foaming process. And when you get this foaming process to take place, this is what reduces any kind of backsplash. It reduces any kind of staining, all the things that you normally see with a standard toilet. And also it helps with the smell too. So that takes care of that process. Now, you do have a remote that I just want to show you right here, and this remote has a lot of different functions. So what you can do with the remote is activate certain things. So for example, you have rear cleaning, you have front cleaning, right? For the ladies, you have the ability to stop, different functions or dual functions. So for example, if you turn on the rear cleaning, you'll get the rear cleaning, but if you tap it twice, you're going to basically get kind of an oscillation, which is also pretty interesting experience. All this stuff takes time, guys. So I said, you know, typically I like going to the bathroom and leaving. This makes the process a lot longer. Obviously, these are the two cleaning modes that we talked about. Stop. What you also have the dryer, right? And the dryer basically is going to dry, and it takes, you know, quite a long time to do that. You have the ability to flush. Over here, you have the actual seat temperature that you can adjust. Put that back on camera. You have the water temperature, the foaming shield that we talked about, the night light, opening and closing, right? And then you can move things front and back. So there's a lot of things that you could do here. I'm going to go ahead and keep my hand here for a second so that I can activate certain things. So you notice how I threw the foaming agent again, right? So that keeps things nice. And I tell you, I really like that feature. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the bidet, the actual rear washer, front washer. You can see that happen. Then I'll cover it with my hand. I'm going to see if I can do both of those things while not getting wet myself. So I'm going to get on my knees here and do that. I don't have a shield to cover myself, but I'm going to just do this. And then I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to do we'll do the front wash. You guys can see that. So you can see how it's going to come out. So it comes out, and then the water starts spraying. So it's a little bit right there. Kind of stop it a little bit. So let's go ahead and stop that. And you can see it go away. So that's it right there. What it does too is you notice that it was first, there was water that came out of it first, and then there was water that continued to come out of it as it retracted. And it's because it's self-cleaning. So it's not going to come out and start spraying you. It's first going to clean itself, then it's going to come out and it's going to spray you. You also then have I'm going to turn on the dryer so you can see how that looks. So the dryer is going to open up. It's going to basically clear things out. So it's flushing. And now it's drying. So here air is coming out, and this air is not cold. This is actually warm air that's coming out. I'm going to take a piece of toilet paper and put it right here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is how much is coming out, right? Let me go ahead and put it there. So you can see how that's doing that? I'll stop it so you can see the difference. So you're going to see that door is going to closes, and now this is just down. So it has a lot of pressure as it's doing that. The toilet itself remains very, very clean, and that's one of the things that I was super surprised, because we've done very little cleaning to it, and I purposely wanted to see how much it could self-maintain itself. But those are all, I would say, the core features. So what I want to show you next is how you put that cleaning liquid or the foaming agent, because I thought that's pretty cool. Now, to work with the actual foaming agent, I'm going to go ahead and remove this over for a second. You have to unplug the actual toilet. And then this is the plug where you put the foaming liquid. Now, if there was an area that I say that there is an opportunity for improvement, and probably the only negative that I have about the product at this time is going to be basically how you dose or fill the system. So basically you have this little thing right here that you place right here. First of all, there's nothing that holds this in place, right? This will fall, right? There's nothing that you can do to try to, get it to stick there, right? Which I wish there was something that was self-guiding and something that locked it in. I'm probably going to 3D print something to deal with this. The other thing is that when you're trying to fill this up, it basically overfills itself always. So the speed in which you can pour this in, it takes time, and you have to be patient. I wish you can just think about if you're putting oil in a car where you just go and it fills it up. Definitely not the case here. You fill this little thing up to maybe up to here, and then you have to wait slowly until it empties itself. Fill it up, and then you wait until it goes down. I wish it was a lot faster process, and I wish this basically held itself in place and not having to do this thing, because I always spill some of the cleaning detergent everywhere. Now, to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, so I'm putting the detergent in and look at how I'm having to keep it. Now look at what's happening over here. This other area is filling up. And I can hear it going into the actual container, but this other side is also filling up. So, you know, I can't continue to pour it. I have to wait for it to go down because that's full. And then I have to wait for this area, this overspill area, to be, you know, to drain in as well before I can do this again. And boy, does this take time. This takes time. It's kind of a pain. I'm going to wait for it to do it. So now that it's done, I want to pour some more and you'll see what the process is. So here I am waiting again. And you'll notice how it's overflowing. What I knew was going to happen to me, this always happens to me. Waiting for it to go down. Now that it's gone down, I'll go ahead and remove it. And unfortunately, it didn't overspill it, but you saw how it came up to here, right? So now it's going to basically drain. The rest of it will drain through. And that's the process. It's probably the hardest part of this process, but it's worth it. Very much worth it. All right. So now there's something else I wanted to show you right here. Notice how short this actual water solution is. It's very close to the wall. They provide you with the actual valve itself. I changed the valve because I wanted something smaller. That little wire that you see right there is for the battery backup. You need 16 batteries to get in the battery backup. I got to purchase some AA batteries for that. But basically you put the pack in and then you can hide it behind here. So I don't have mine installed, but I have it right there on the side. But notice how close that is, and then notice the distance that you have from the toilet to the wall. This is like really, really tight. Let me show you a normal toilet. All right, so now this is a normal toilet. You can see the hose, you can see how far it is coming out of the wall, and you can see how much space there is between the actual toilet and the actual wall itself. And that's the thing that you have to plan for. Make sure that you have an outlet, and then make sure that you have the right clearance for that valve, because you'll need 2 valves. It has 2 water lines as opposed to 1.
So this wraps up our review. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey guys, now in today's video, we're going to take a look at a product that I wanted to review in the channel, and then I'll jump and we'll make a conversation about. I'm not going to go through all the features, but I'm just going to highlight.
Okay.
Right, so 3, 2, and remember, always start with a smile. Then you're looking at the word air.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, today we're starting off.
Okay.
We have like writing.
No, you just got it.
Hey guys.
All right.
Today we're going to be taking a look at a product that I wanted to bring on the channel.
All right, so starting from scratch, right? 3, 2, 1. Now you can start with a smile.